championships. All my records go hard, this a champion hit. I've been working for this moment like I've been in the gym. Jumping all over hurdles, I'm evading the pit. Good to hear with anybody, take them, I can shake them. I invite them to the fire, then I bake them, I'ma break them. I'm a Hall of Fame legend, they should go and hang my jersey. Made to put in work, I don't think they really heard me like. Move the chains, I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get about the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains. Ain't no stopping me, ain't no topping me, I am up. #1 seed, ain't nobody popping up. Got a squad of gorillas from the jungle suited up. You kicking off against me, hope you ready, get it up. Got me booted up, popping out a Sprinter or a truck. Whole team chasing bags while they chasing us. Call an audible, I read the game, I think it's time to switch. You get hit, if I miss, then my teammates got the blitz, yeah. Move the chains, I'm about to make a play. Move the chains, tell them get about the way. Move the chains, I'm about to win the game. Move the chains, baby, tell them move the chains. Yeah. 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 Okay. 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay. I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay. All my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay. So when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got pound. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Throw the ball with the right hand, catch with the left, touchdown. Step back, let me get some room. Congrats every time I'm through. Same packet, nobody knew. So I never get confused. Hotel get a bird's eye view. Hotel got a waiting room. Read a magazine while you wait for me. Baby, I'll be done so soon. Phone gotta be off, each store got locks. I got some trusted shoes. 10K on the countertop, don't look so shocked, it's nothing new. Death comes in threes. Wins come in twos. Cash comes in ones. Throw it up, celebrate some news. I do a good job, pull up and pop out and pull out. Head on and hood on, pedal to metal. When I put my foot on, I got to put on. I got a bad one, they wanna keep me. Oh, that's a good one. Pockets are dense, I think my bread is hard as a crouton. Receipts in my okay, 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay, I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay, all my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay, so when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got pound. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now.
It seems like only yesterday we were here for Super Bowl 52 and now back for the road to the Super Bowl here in the Twin Cities at US Bank Stadium. Tonight, it's the NFC's turn to take center stage as we've got a wild card matchup on tap between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Minnesota Vikings. Winner go home is the mantra, and off we go. We're underway in this NFC wildcard game. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Ready up. 52, mark 52. Now watch one. Fight.
On first down, Wheeler. And that's complete to Adams. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Here we go.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Back to throw. Wheeler. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. They were trying to liven up this playoff game very early on. Pretty deep throw, but good coverage.
I think they were counting on the defenders being a little tight, a little over-anxious early, and trying to catch them flat-footed and get a big play.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And now nothing but green ahead of him. The 40. Past the 20. 10. Touchdown, Vikings. Deontay Johnson, an even 90 yards as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Well, this has been a quick strike offense all season long, finding many different ways to manufacture big plays.
They had a big playoff preview today in the papers, and it was about who would set the tone. Well, they just set the tone right there. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
Let's go now. 70 ending. Minus 50. Yeah, let's get set. Let's get off the field. Check 26, check 26. Short. Hey, check. Mike 50. Watch the run.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. 20. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Scott Miller, 79 yards, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. That's a great response. You give up the first score of the game, but you go right down yourselves and get the equalizer.
I just had a flashback there. I remember playing in a game like that in college where one of my teammates had said in the media that week, the opposite team would be lucky to cross our goal line. They crossed it in the first minute of the game. On our first offensive play, we scored to answer back. Something similar to what we just saw there.
Very similar to what we just saw. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive...
Now the ball comes loose.
Eventually recovered by the offense. Result of the play, first down and 10.
On the double.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
Hey, wahoo! Hey, Sam off! Check the backer. Hard. Rush in. Ready?
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Ready. Check Mike. Recon, 132 fighter. Get it.
To throw on second down. Wheeler. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off around the 41. There he goes right side. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Ah, yes, the old tip drill works to perfection there.
Ah, you're bringing back great memories. Used to love that drill. And a lot of times in practice, you work on it, not just one tip, but multiple tips, just in case the ball stays in the air for a while, to have an awareness and the ability to go up and grab it, and then you want to get some blocking support and end up in the opposite end zone.
In that tip drill, what do you yell?
For us, it was Oski. Okay, Oski was an
things for
interception.
different teams.
Different teams have different ways of doing it. I've heard bingo, jackpot. The worst I ever heard, though, was Frankenstein. You don't want it to be a
too many
three-syllable
syllables.
word.
Yeah.
You want to get it right down and go. Oski is really the preferred word.
Oski.
It's going to be a long day.
They'll run on first down. It's Thomas. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. 2nd and 6. Wide open receiver complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Ready? 70, Indy.
On 1st and 10, Wheeler. Throw left side complete. That's Terry. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains. And really, it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
A first down carry here for Johnson. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Five. 52. Watch 52. 52.
Here's 2nd and 8. He gets this one to Johnson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Looking to throw. Wheeler. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
First carry for Nick Chubb. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up.
50, Mike 50. All day, just like that. Just like that.
Now with the play clock down to 2, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Mike's 50. It's our 50. got Mike 50.
On third down, Jackson. And that's knocked away and incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. Fielded just inside the 30. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination, but they find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Yeah, can he put it aside? And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out, and it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and it's now 21-7. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
1st and 10 at the 32.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Wheeler. Screenplay. Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Watch the run, watch the run.
A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Come on, boy.
Ready? From the gun, Wheeler. Looking left side, and he's got him in. It's Terry. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10.
Key to tight end.
Looking to throw. Wheeler. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Davante Adams there to make the grab as his guys are back within a single score. Point after, right down the middle. And they're back within a touchdown at 21-14. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Check. Lucky. Come on. 51, Mike 51. You ain't
A run for Nick Chubb. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
And it brings up 3rd down.
Come on, set. 15 running. You can't, man. He's not going to get me. Go. Hey, bump.
The Bucs going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
Let's go. Here we go. Tight end right. You got 3 down. Watch the twins.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And he's got Ezekiel Elliott. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 15 yards as Tampa Bay picks up the first.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Ready, set. 51's the mic. Here I come. Okay. Check 3. 81. Ball trot.
They go play action now. Jackson. And he finds Howard complete. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
Watch out. Check three.
Draw play. Elliott.
Run.
And he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker at the Vikings' 44.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on second down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
Well, you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on second and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play.
Back to the ground. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up fourth down.
I wonder if they just kind of outguessed themselves a little bit trying to run it on third down. Probably should have gone to the air to try and pick it up. Instead, the punting unit will have to run on the field.
And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt.
Come on,
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you score points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Hey, let's go. Calm quick. Yeah.
Looking to throw on second down. Wheeler. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their third of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they've missed a golden opportunity.
Game clock at 2:01. Time for one final play before the 2-minute warning. To throw on third down. Wheeler. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line.
Good job.
Coming up at the half, we remind you that we're going to do what we've done all year. We'll get you down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. Coach will have the lowdown of what's going on here in this wild card weekend as we begin the road to the upcoming Super Bowl. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Buccaneer offense will be set up well as they take over. They go play action with Jackson. Going up top for Miller. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Scott Miller, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've got to be a little shell-shocked. Down double digits at home in the playoffs. Still in the first half. They've got to turn things around quickly. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Sanders on for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Let's go, let's go.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like when we talk about the defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
Comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right?
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Let's get that ball right here.
2nd and 4. Over the middle, complete. It's Terry. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
Set. 6-6. Pull it high. Hit it.
Throwing on first down. Wheeler. And the catch made by Johnson. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Got it.
This quarterback now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Wheeler. Stepping up, he'll try and run. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced the ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
60 or.
Here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the
Go.
No. Check that.
Ready.
Now a play fake here on first down. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Herb Smith Jr. there to make the grab. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead will be cut down to 14. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Here we go.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
So we come upon halftime here in this NFC wildcard matchup as we'll head down to our late Coachman at our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, one of these two teams about to play their final half of the season as we're back at it in this NFC wildcard bout. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is, don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. That's going to set them back 5 yards. The delay of game backs them up 5, 1st and 15.
Whip. Watch the whip.
Following the penalty, Chubb trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there. Second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On 2nd and 15 now. Jackson is going to fire one deep, middle of the field, and that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin, 78 yards as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was, and if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half. Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. From the gun, Wheeler looking deep for Adams. And that will be incomplete. Try to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Back to throw. Wheeler finding room at the 30. Throw left side complete. That's Terry. And he's going to be taken down about a yard shy of the first at the 29.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard.
Check 20 pilot, 64, weak. Hey, Charlie. 52, let's go.
They'll try and throw for it here. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot. Here's Nick Chubb as they try to fire up this run game. Down to about the 22 here. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Let's go, defense. Hey, man up, deep, man up, deep. Check. Slam, slam, slam. He's coming. Double up, double up. He's coming, double up. Check 52. Go, go. Check, check. Switch, switch.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
And it's 3rd down.
On 3rd down, it's Blake, and he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Defensively, they rally the troops to force 4th down after that 7-yard pickup back on 1st. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and that will extend their lead even further. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt, just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Let's go.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held him to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
3 down, 3 down.
Looking to throw. Wheeler going for the deep ball. And that's caught inside the 35. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 42 yards. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
Let them know, let them know.
Hey, Delta. They go.
On first down, Wheeler under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain, followed by a sizable loss here. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
Get that quarterback at all costs. Bang, bang, bang.
Johnson. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The Bucs with an extra defender now in the secondary here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Wheeler. And this one complete to Smith. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a first down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
2nd and 6 at the 10-yard line.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. 1 quarter remains in this NFC wild card matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Watch tight. Tight end's right. Watch tight. Tight end's right. 3 down, 3 down. They're going to 88. They're going to 88.
Looking to throw. Wheeler. And it'll be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Now, that turnover might just about do it. Here, 4th quarter, the lead that you've got, they can just run the football, run the clock.
Exactly right. They played smart, couple of first downs, and this one should just about be over.
And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. On the carry, it's Chubb. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Jackson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first. But at least it's 4th down. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay. taken in at the 22. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure.
And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Now a pass caught by Zay Jones. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give them 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
He completes it to Jones. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5.
You ready? 52. Watch twist, watch twist, watch twist. Twist, twist. 5.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be second and goal.
Here you go. 60 or.
Let's go.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It can be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
They go play action here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. And they'll run it here. And this will be a gain of right around 3 from the 7 out to the 10-yard line.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
The Bucs on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and a mile. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
To throw on second down, Wheeler. He finds his man, Johnson. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 12. Well, it wasn't always pretty, but the interception there, that means that they should get out of here with a victory.
Yeah, this is not a game that they're going to preserve for posterity on defense. But they did finish it off, didn't they? They did make the winning play to close things out. They'll take that one and head to the locker room.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all three timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. A run there on first down and a pretty good one at 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5. The linebacker, Ryan Shazier, there to make the tackle.
At the 16-yard line.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Blake. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards. Getting into the playoffs is one thing. Now they get to move on. Just 8 teams left.
The dream stays alive. Everyone's gunning for the Super Bowl. That's the ultimate. But you have to get there in incremental steps. One win today gets them one step closer.
So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From Minneapolis, good night, everybody.
Yeah, I just ran a checkup on myself. Some days I just have to check up on myself. I'm so icy, got that GG on my belt. Thank the Lord for my people and my health. Lost a lot, but I came out with no L's. Thank the Lord for my people and my health. Ain't a